Hello, welcome and good morning. This is Julie Silver Stitches here on Flosstube Instagram and Blooming Wildflower Designs on Instagram and Ko-Fi. How's everybody today? It is a bright day, at least out there. There is a little bit of cloud, but I think it's supposed to get rainy eventually today, so sorry about the glares. It is very bright in here, but apparently I have a reflection, so I don't know. We'll see. That's Simon, if you don't know him. He's one of the 3 cats that lives in my house with me. And that one is Charlotte. So there we go. You guys got a full view of Charlotte for the first time in a long time, actually. Are you ready? Where have I been? Well, today, let's start out with welcoming everybody. Thank you for joining me. I know I was away last week. I will talk about that closer to the end, just in case you don't care. So thank you for joining me. I know that over the last couple weeks I've had a couple new subscribers, so thank you for joining me again. How many times can I say that? I have my water bottle and I have my iced milk. Whoosh, this is not balanced, is it? Why? Hold please. Has it always been junky like that? Who knows? Okay, so April 12th, 2026. And here we go. So we're starting off good, so I don't want to stop it. So let's see how this goes. So iced, it's really just milk, instant coffee, and chocolate milk. I haven't had that in a few days, so huzzah. Okay, so I might end up being a squirrel. There are a large amount of bags behind you, aka in front of me. So if Charlotte decides that she wants to knock over something or go through the bags, that's what that is. And Simon is having a great time watching the window. And I think Skitters is right behind me on the pile of stuffs. Blankets. So he might also come and join us at one point. Let me just get let me get my tablet set up and away we go. So all in all, I worked on 10 projects over the last 2 weeks. Charlotte. Anyway, better than Skitters. Okay, so 10 projects for the last 2 weeks. One of them is a paper copy of a chart and everything else is digital. So I will start with the paper copy. Over the last 2 weeks, I have gotten this bag. It's a very nice catch-all for all of my stitching things if I have to go to medical appointments or anything like that. Dollarama, $4 if you're in Canada. All right, and then my other little expenditure that we started out with this week, that I just got actually now, I still have the tags on them. I got them at Giant Tiger a couple weeks ago. This is what I was talking about. They're almost the perfect sized project bags, but they claim that they are swim bags. So this is this one. It's got little cats and fish and assorted animals sleeping. Is this the one? Oh no, I'm talking about the undersea one, thinking about the cats one. Oh, good grief. So, fish and pineapples and shells. So there is a zipper pocket. That is the front. And then this is all at Giant Tiger, by the way. And a decent sized waterproof one in the top. So, that's that one. And then this is the one with the sunbathing cats. Hilarious. Anyways, okay, $6, Giant Tiger. They also have a few more, but I just did not pick them up today. Okay, so they've been out for... The itchy nose is ridiculous today. They've been out for a couple weeks. So every time I go to Giant Tiger, I'm like, please, please, please. Well, in my head, right? And then finally I was just like, that's it. Today is the day. So we're going to start out with the stitching. Let's do that, shall we? After this, I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Some of them are new starts. I have 3 new starts, and I guess that means 7 works in progress. So first work in progress is out of this magazine. Charlotte has decided to find something that she can bop around the floor, which is fine. This is Cross Stitch. The World of Cross Stitching, issue 295, July 2020. So If you've been following me for the last couple of weeks, I had started this a couple weeks ago for one of my friends. This is what it's going to look like. See the value of a moment before it becomes a memory. And if you hear that, that is Charlotte. I didn't do as much as I wanted to do this last 2 weeks, but at least I got some done. I will use new project bags to be my backing because of the suddenly bright light. Okay, so that's not going to work because the bright is too sunny. The sun is too bright. Is this going to work? I just need something plain. Nope. I just need a... Anyway, this is going to be a fun video. So yeah, so here we go. What if I just use the fabric, Julie? That could make sense. There we go. Okay, so I have, last time you saw it, I had the stems of the flower, of the bird, and I was working on the V. This time, I have been able to get in the rest of the V, the start of the A, only because I ran out of 726. The L, the U, there's stripes of 726 in here, and the E is completely done. And then now I'm working on the top. Up here, I think this is a word that goes that way. And then I was going to continue on the words that worked this way, just because that's what was in my frame at the time. But that is coming along nicely for a end-ish, mid-end-ish of June finish, because that's when she's moving into her new place. I'm just trying to put it back where it goes in the magazine. Okay. Not that it really matters. Okay, so I need this out of here, and then I can put everything there. Okay, so let's get started with the everything else. So, like I said, I worked on 9 other different projects. Some of them were new starts, and some of them were just part of my Stitch 500 series. I have 5 pieces that are under 10,000 stitches, if you don't know. So 5 pieces that are under 10,000 stitches. Each of them get 500 stitches in rotation. I was able to, during that first week, get through all of those. So let me show you, or the other things are new starts. So I will explain what is what when I go through everything. Charlotte, I opened the window, so Charlotte is definitely like, give me the fresh air. Okay. I did not put any of these in order in my bag, though, so we're just going to do a shuffle. Slow down. Let's have some water. Okay. I feel like this 8-minute video could have been like 15 easily. Okay, so the first one up is in alphabetical order. So this is Autumn Fairies. It is by Karen Middleton of Heaven and Earth Design, a retired chart from a long, long time ago. I was able to put 500 stitches in. So I'm going to fold it in half because I just worked up here. So you can now see that his little nose is coming into play. I filled in a lot the missing stitches up here because I was able to get the remaining pieces of the, the remaining threads that I was not able to get before, I was able to get now. So I spent an evening at one point just sorting through all of them and putting them back on my floss cards because that's what I felt like doing, and it worked out very well. So, and then I started stepping down here because it was all the same color. So I'll show you the whole thing one last time, but all of those 500 stitches ended up in the top half because I'm working top down. So this is the whole thing. It is now at 10,500 at 51.35%. So sorry about the shadow because I really want the window open, but the window is not cooperating, but is what it is. We'll do a bottom half. This is all old. Top half, 500 new. I really enjoyed this. And so I spent 1 week, this is what happened this last 2 weeks. I spent 1 week working on the top 500, 500 countdown, the Stitch 500, but I don't know what I'm calling it. Anyway, and then I spent the next week all on new starts. And Charlotte has found a paper bag, so here we go. Alright, next up in the list of alphabetical order is Mini Beginner Seashell. This is by Kayomi Hirai of Heaven and Earth Design. Charlotte. Charlotte. Okay, so, Beginner Seashell, Kayomi Hirai. I put in 500 stitches. It's now at 16,298. And here we go. So it's just trekking away. Let's make it so everybody can see properly. It is a little dark because of the glare, but I filled in the rest of this one. You can now see where I am going by line, but what happens if I put it on this side? Although that really hurts my shoulder. No, okay. So anyway, I finished filling in everything here, and then her little body is done, relatively almost, and then this is the bottom for anybody who's new. This is 500 stitches, now at 16,298 at 64.42%. So all of these are kind of goals that I want to finish before the end of 2026. Some of them are far closer than others, but if I continue this 500 stitch rotation, then anything's possible, right? Anything is possible. All right, the next one is a new one. It is charted by me, Blooming Wallflower Designs. Like I said, you can find this one on Ko-Fi. Can you find this one on Ko-Fi? No. Okay, lies. I lied to you. So you cannot find this on Ko-Fi yet, but it will eventually be there. This is called Faded Flowers. There's a story about this one. I started this on April 7th, 2026. So just last week. So last week was my 1-year anniversary for my surgery from, so I had endometrial cancer. The surgery fixed everything and made everything go away and all of that. So my 1-year anniversary was April 7th. And James, my husband, when we found out that I did have cancer in February 2025, he got me these flowers. He left them in the car overnight, no fault to his own. It's February, so it's still cold. They wilted or faded or whatever you want to call it, but there are some in there that are still, in the picture at least, they're long gone by now, but in the picture at least, some were still kind of resilient, kind of still. So I made a Facebook post, very ambiguous, only myself, James, and a few other people knowing, but saying, I feel like these flowers today, defeated, but not completely gone yet. So I thought it might be a very good thing to start on my 1-year anniversary. So, because part of me is still feeling defeated, yet resilient all at the same time. So I will get more into that along the way. I plan on talking to you for a long time after this show and tell of everything is done. So we'll see how that goes. So this is only 300 stitches. I put in 300 and it's at 1.04%. It's just a lot of the brown tones at the top left corner. These were too long to cut off, but too short to put back on to my floss bobbin thingamajigger. So Simon has now found the paper bag that Charlotte had. And here we go. Simon. Oh, I know what they are. Haha, I might have to go pick those up because they're little dog treats. And so the cats are thinking that they should get the dog treats. Hold, please. That might be a better view. My cats are loving these dog treats that one of my people that we cut the lawn for and shovel for, she has a dog, and she said, give these to my dog whenever you come. Meanwhile, if you can see, the cats have demolished the top of it. It's all bumpy. They've decided to try and get through every single time, is what it is. And somehow it ended up on the floor, and now the cats have dispersed. So, hey. Alright, the next one is not a rotation of 500 and not a new start, but it is a well-loved piece. This is Forever Friends by Heaven and Earth Design. The artist was Oleg because it's still there, is Oleg Gavrilov. This is the quick stitch, so it's not as big as the regular size, I guess. And it's cropped quite a lot down from the regular size. So the quick stitch looks like this. I put in a whole whopping 96 stitches, but those 96 stitches got me to be able to be at 1900. So that's why I did 96, because I have a full rest of them, of my projects, that need to be rounded up to the closest 100. So that's what's happening with the rest of my projects right now. They're just slowly getting all stitched and rounded up to the closest 100, so that when the next time I work on them, they can just put 100 in and call it a day. Okay, so the next one I have as a stitch 500 is by Stitchery Stitch on Etsy. I don't think they're still there, but this is Never Quit. I put in 500 stitches. It's on a piece of light blue Aida. Everything's been on Aida so far, but this is the only colored one this week. So I'm going to show you the whole thing. Ooh, I do have more up here. I just folded it over. Okay, so the only thing up at the top remaining is Never Quit, is what the actual title of the chart is, but it says, if you stumble, get back up. What happened yesterday no longer matters. Today is another day, so get back on track and move closer. This says to your, I can't read backwards anymore, dreams, and this is going to say goals. So part of the 500, I think, was finishing off the R, if I can remember. To your dreams and goa is what I have done. So that's exciting. That is now at 4,634 out of 6,634. So I only have 2,000 stitches left on that. So soon. It's at 75.55%. So it will be done. This will be my next one, most likely done, because it's just for the stitch count. At least on the digital stuff. Okay, next up is See You Later by Happiness. This one is still on Etsy. I gave the link to a nice viewer that requested it because she loves it. She loves it. And they love it. And so I said, okay, here it is. Good luck. Have fun. I don't know. Let me know if you got it, and then we can stitch along together. So this one is, we don't hear that sound very often. That's interesting. This one is 500 stitches added, now at 5,329 at 57.12%. So I finished off Tiny Snail because I was at the S. I was stitching the bottom of the S last time, and then I did the nail, and then I came back up here and started Be Sweet, and then I did Butterfly, So now that the sun is gone, the lighting is all wonky, but I shall use my Forever Friends to put behind it again. So even though it looks kind of dark, and I'm sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry, because what can you do? Close the blinds, I guess, but then it'll be really dark in here. So that's that. So yeah, so that's at 57.12%. So that's almost done too, but not as done as the other one. This one still has, I think, like 4,000 stitches left or something. The next one also is a new start. I posted this one on Facebook. It got rave reviews of excitedness. This is by Stitches So Beautiful. It is one of the World of Love Hearts charts. And I can just do this. It's only 300 stitches, so there's not a lot to see. But what there is to see is phenomenal. So here we go. So that is all of 300 stitches. 0.19%. So, ta-da! I put almost all of my new starts. 2 out of my 3 new starts, 300. For some reason, so that's at 0.19%. For some reason, this one didn't really want to be worked on. I really don't know why. It was kind of, I feel like I want to say it was my birthday start. This is a piece that was painted by my stepdaughter. And this one is the one that is up on the Ko-Fi shop if you are wanting it. It's 111 colors. It's 200 by 136 or something. And here we go. So this is where I'm at with that one. It is, I only have 134 stitches into it right now at 0.49%. Yep. But yeah, no, it should be fun. Super colors, super nice. I've already had Tess purchase a copy, so if you want to, you can also go over there and buy me a coffee if you'd like, to put toward my stitching or for saving for life or whatever the case might be. But yeah, that's that. So then my last piece, my last piece is on an oatmeal piece of 14 count Aida. It is White Mandala 3 by Magnolia Handcraft. It's a long time purchase. It was purchased a long time ago on Etsy. I have looked and looked, but I don't think they're there anymore either. But it is using the colorway 4505 from DMC, and you can see that a whole lot better on here. So it's a mix between purples and greens. So I put in 500 stitches. I worked my way from, I think, this one all the way over. So now I'm at 2,441 and 25.86%. So that is it for my works in progress and my new starts. That was all 10 of them. I wanted to talk about my upcoming plans. Hold on. I gotta put this back in the bag with the thread. So, and I picked up a new one of these too, because who knows when I might run out of that and it might get discontinued. Anyway, okay, so I want to talk about plans a little bit. I'm going to go back to my 500 rotation this week. I've missed all those projects, so at least that's that. As well as I'll show you what could be placed in there as well, if I can get the Ziploc zipping. Why is that so hard? Good grief. Okay, I'm gonna go get my current other wants to work on this week, aka plans. Hold please. Okay, so back. Here we go. Fix the hair, have a drink, How's everybody doing? Okay, so what I want to focus on for the upcoming week, again, not a lot of time frame. I'll talk about all of that in the life section of the video. I'm pretty sure here comes Charlotte. She's, is that me on camera? No way. Hilarious. Okay, so let's just grab a bag and start. So I would like to round up the 100 on Dragon in the Morning. That's this. And Dragon in the Morning has all the way down there. I want to say it's 50 stitches, but because my last known total was 16,650, so I want to round this up to 16,700. So this is where we're at right now. Heaven and Earth Designs, Randall Spangler, 18 count. That's an option for this week. Another option for the week is Story Keep Tiki Beach. That's what this looks like on top of Charlotte. And here we are. That's a lie. Here we are. I have 9 stitches left to get to the 100. Now I probably have that color, so that's all that matters. I did not have that color before, so that's why it was not done. Next. That one is by Amy Stewart. This one is by Elena Lazareva. It is Sad Fairy. Are you done, little baby? Alright, and this is where we're at. Once I fill in that tree and this whole block, chances are I'm just going to stitch across the top because I really want to see across the top. I really do. I'm just trying to put them back in the bag that they came from. I don't really want to disturb Charlotte because you never see her on camera. But she's so beautiful. So she is going to be 8 in August. Alright, next up is The Wise and the Brave. This is the 2026 stitch along from Heaven and Earth Design. This is where we're at, so not very far compared to others who have already finished it, but still. I'll put all the details in for next time if I do stitch on anything. Oh, bananas. Charlotte. Charlotte. Ow, 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 ow. That was my knee, sir. Good grief. Okay, excuse me, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. Well, that's better than Skitters. At least I can move her. Alright, and the last one up for the potential want to round up to 100 works in progress is Hazel's World View by Dakota Dateweiler. A retired chart from Heaven and Earth Design, but where did I see it? Charting Creations? Is she carrying Dakota Dateweiler right now? She's got the full, they've got the full Hazel's World, so not just the draft. But this is the draft. If I can find where I saw that, I'll put it down here. The whole world. Hazel's World. This is just the draft from Hazel's World. So this is Hazel's World draft, Dakota Dateweiler, retired from Heaven and Earth Design. But I can put down here where I found the current, who has it right now. But not Hazel. The whole thing. But I'm sure you could cut Hazel out. Alright. That's it for what I want to think about stitching on this week. Those are the options. So the 500 plus whatever I just showed you. And then I also don't know if it's going to be a new start yet, but I was thinking about it. My next new start, at least. is going to be the latest freebie from Long Dog, the Simpler Times, or I don't know what it's called, but this one that everybody's doing. And I'm going to most likely do it on this. This is the Forbidden Fiver Co. 28 count. Hold on, let's see where the little sticker thing is. There's. Yes, 28 count. Herbert from for Fortnite Fabrics. Who are no longer in business, sadly, but this is my only piece, so I'm going to put that on it because I figure, why not, right? In some kind of one colorway, monochromatic, but it might be a fun monochromatic, I don't know. Like, it might be a fun Roxy Flosco, because I have a lot of their new... Not new, but I have a lot of color variations. I will figure it out and let you know. But this is what I'm planning on putting it on. I'm presuming it's a big enough piece because I haven't looked, but I mean, that's your standard size piece, so I figure it should be big enough, and especially if I do. Anyways, ta-da, that's what it currently looks like. Pretty true to color. So yeah, so that's all the stitching. So thank you for joining me, Sparkle and Shine. If you don't want to hear about life, I do understand. Some people are just here for the stitching, and I get that. But if you are not here just for the stitching, well, let me tell you about the last 2 weeks. Okay, so I was planning on, I don't even remember the first of the last 2 weeks. So let's just start. I was planning on, it was a regular week. I was planning on stitching Easter Sunday, filming Easter Sunday, but we got a phone call. No, I got a messenger message at 5 o'clock in the morning saying, with a picture saying, the building beside us is on fire. We have a whole street in between us, so it's not as if it could jump flames pretty easily, but the building beside us is on fire. All the fire trucks, all the ambulances, all the police, all the everything were there. So I told James and I went down from 5 o'clock on. It was raining, so we're at least very, very, very damp. So at least that is a benefit for the fire, but they got it out within a few hours. It was because apparently there was a cigarette that hadn't been fully put out in the middle of the night. Or I guess half an hour before the fire started. And so they're just trying to figure out what to do with the building right now. It's all fenced off because nobody can go in it because of whatever. So then James gets on the phone with his parents at 6 o'clock, 6:30, and is describing the fire and la la la. So they take us out for breakfast. So this is Easter. They take us out for breakfast at 7. Cool. Thank you. Wonderful. Amazing. There's a container of water in front of me that I feel just is a continuous little leak on the bottom. Because every time I sit here, there's a puddle of water. Okay, so I will fix that after. Anyway, so yes, Easter, went to breakfast with them, James's parents, and James had a great time, came home for about 20 minutes, half an hour at most, turned around, went to my sister's for lunch, and my nephew's celebration for birthday, so we had crab legs and this watermelon, cucumber, mint, jalapeno salad. I don't know where she comes up with these things. Anyways, it was good, but I took a bite of the watermelon and I was like, what is going on? I didn't know that there was jalapenos mixed into the whole mix. Bah! Anyways, so that was good. But then another cucumber and red onion salad, that was good too. But that was good. Came home, crashed because exhaustion from the whole getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning thing with the fire and the this and the that and the everything. So this week, didn't go to work, because Monday I had a medical appointment for a follow up with my HRT meds to see if there are any other meds that I can go on that aren't going to cost me like $150 a month. So what happened is my doctor prescribed something that was already covered. So that's good. So far, so good. This is going to be like day 3 of taking them, so that's good. And then I just need to see if the progesterone will be then covered. So I have a form that I'm going back to my doctor with on April 27th and saying, here you go, we're going to try again just with this one medication instead of 2, because I already tried it in October, got denied because I was over 40. But it was a surgical menopause, so, what? Anyways, because I'm only 44. So this isn't really technically supposed to be happening all until like, 8 to 10 years from now, right? So, anyways, that's that. Tuesday was my 1 year, so I did not go to work for that because, no, I don't want to be folding 260 boxes when I could totally be doing something else. It wasn't a super special day. Oh, actually, what happened was I ended up getting all of the threads that I was missing. I think there was like 70 something. Anyway, I went to Michael's with my sister's gift card from my birthday. Actually got $9 worth of thread that I spent for, so that's good. And then Wednesday was a down day. They don't let me work on Wednesdays anyway because the GFS order comes in at night and I can't lift more than, 20 pounds at this point. Like it's still ridiculous, but that's fine. So there's heavy lifting on Wednesday night, so I don't get to work. Thursday and Friday, James's treatment. So this was the first treatment after 8 weeks. If you don't know, James has 2 rare autoimmune illnesses that are completely being looked after by his rheumatologist, so everything's great, stable. There is now, though, because of all of the meds and all of the what are we doing, 13 years now of doing this, his kidney is affected, and one of his kidneys are affected, and his liver is now affected as well. So baby steps on that front, but we'll see how that goes. Yes, he theoretically could, for your average person, lose 5 to 10 pounds of weight, but this isn't an average case, so who knows what's going to happen. So, positive thoughts for that. So this was his first treatment after 8 weeks. So part of the treatment that he's on IVIG. So it's an immunoglobulin thing. Anyway, he's on immunoglobulin. And so that affects all of his organs in general. So with being over time. So that's why his rheumatologist decided to spread it out a little bit. So he was going every 4 weeks. Now it's every 8 weeks. So this was his first time at 8 weeks to have the infusion done. So far so good. He ate much better yesterday. So yesterday was Saturday. We only had it Thursday, Friday. So first full day after treatment, he normally just sleeps right through the whole thing and doesn't do anything, doesn't eat anything, gets up sometimes to drink some water, but that's about it. This time he ended up having food, which he never normally does after treatment, and and suggested that we go for a walk today. So that's out of the ordinary as well. So that's all very good things. And then, as for me, so doctor's appointment, I had one on last Monday, and then my next medical journey for me that I didn't know about until Tuesday, the office that is going to do a nerve conduction test on me, or a study on me, called me on Tuesday. I've been on the wait list since October. So in 2024, December 2024, I was driving, and both of my arms from my elbows to my fingertips went numb, and both of my legs from my knees to my toes went numb. Me driving, flipping out, knowing my dad has like a cardiac situation as well as my sister. So, is it that? Who knows? So December, I got sent home from work, and sleep fixed the whole thing. But since my surgery, my hysterectomy in April 2025, I've been randomly having pins and needles in my fingertips, like in my hands, in this in the triangle part here. That is all affected by my ulnar nerve, which I understand, that's fine. But then I also have a circle in my back, kind of between just below my shoulder blades, that also goes numb for no apparent reason. I could be moving, I could be not moving, I could be laying down, I could be up walking, doesn't matter. Circle in my back. Weirdest feeling ever. Anyway, so I get a nerve conduction study test tomorrow. And then Thursday, I have a meeting with a social worker that will help James and I financially to try and get on some kind of you don't have to pay as much for rent list, which would be great because soon we're not going to be able to afford it. And then trying to get on some kind of programs for hydro and gas. So hydro and Enbridge as well. So yeah, so that should be interesting. I think that's the first part of everything. So I think that might be it. I didn't know that it was going to be, I thought it was going to be longer than this, but that's okay. 45 minutes is good. So yeah, so overall, and I tried to go last Wednesday morning for the blood work, and my doctor wants me to get an the ECG for the cardiac stuff. So, because my sister has AFib and my dad's had 2 heart attacks and a stroke, so all of the things. So just to keep an eye on my heart, so that's great. But she also wants me to measure my cortisol level at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was there by 8:15, and the lineup was 45 minutes. So the technician behind the desk said, "Sorry, come back at 7:30." So I could beat the lineup of everybody needing to get their blood work done first thing in the morning. Anyways, so that's the other thing that I'm then doing on Wednesday morning. So this Tuesday morning. So I tried last Wednesday. I'm going this Tuesday. So it's another exciting week. So when I was younger, when I was born, I had an illness. I have a disorder, a central nervous disorder called incontinentia pigmenti. I'll put it down here because you're not going to understand what I just said. Okay, so it affects, like I said, your central nervous system. When I was born, I had red splotches and blisters all over my body. I started having seizures a few days into being born. I went back to the hospital. They did a skin biopsy, so they took a chunk of my leg and did a biopsy on it. It came back with the fact that my system is missing this gene on my X chromosome. So this gene is in charge of, I guess, a lot of things to do with your central nervous system. So walking, talking, hearing, speaking, your senses, all of those things could have been disrupted or delayed. I could have had hair randomly in random spots. The only thing is I have a few hairs on my feet that aren't normally supposed to be there, I guess. I don't know. And I have what's called, I call them zebra stripes. A lot of us call them zebra stripes. Blancos? Blashko? Blachko lines. They're not called lines, they're called something else. Anyway, it's essentially if I can make the camera see it, I have it on my forearms and my calves. Just little lines that go up my legs and my arms. No. Oh, and this shoulder? This shoulder now has suspected rotator cuff tendinitis. Don't turn 40. Just don't do it if you can help it. Good grief. I know I'm 44 and I've already done a whole lot of stuff to my life, but don't do it. Anyway, if you can resist turning 40 as long as possible, that would be great. Okay, anyway, so back to IP. So, I had seizures from birth till 5 years old. My mom was no longer able to carry me to the car after 5. So she said, forget about it. We're not just going to the ER anymore. We're actually going to get it, tracked and fixed and whatever. So, not fixed, but be put on meds or what. I don't know what she said. Anyways, so I remember being carried to the car that day. I don't remember anything else. I ended up at CHEO. So CHEO is the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. I was put on medication, Tegretol, and the meds helped completely wipe out, I'm sure they were still there, but wipe out the grand mal seizures that I was having. So every month I'd have to go in to CHEO with my mom, because that's who took me, and get an EKG done to see how the connections in my brain were forming. Eventually, at 14, I was able to then be weaned off the medication because my neurons or my connections in my brain were finally connecting or formed or no longer misfiring. I'm not a specialist. Anyways, doing whatever they needed to do to be able to be taken off of the medication. So if I know this is for a lot of people, but if I am overtired and my body hasn't fallen asleep yet, I start to twitch. Because, I don't know, because that's what happens. When I was getting weaned off of the medication, the first few times I did that, my mom was in mad panic, apparently, because, here we go again kind of thing. But no, that never happened again. So, but I still have IP. I still have that missing gene. So it's not as if everything is just no longer happening. I've just learned to adapt and learned to be able to mask or try and figure out ways around of things that are normal for me but not normal for anybody else. I can't give you any examples right now because in reality I feel like I'm normal, so who knows. But yeah, so that's just a little bit more about me, just in case you didn't know. I feel like these hidden illnesses and these hidden disabilities and these hidden systems that we have need to be talked about, because if we're not talking about it, then how are everybody else supposed to know? I know that in a few people's last floss tubes, at least, they were talking about husbands and children and all of these things. And if we don't talk about these things, then how are we supposed to get along as a society and know to treat everybody with respect, regardless of whether they have a visual aid with them or not, like crutches, a walker, a cane, a wheelchair, anything like that. That's why I feel like we should all treat people with the exact same respect and everything that everybody needs, because just because you might be having a bad day doesn't mean that you can treat everybody you come across like they're a piece of bananas. I don't swear. So, it's important that we talk about these hidden illnesses, especially when things come like with James. He only walks with his cane when he's feeling like his hips aren't going to support him, but that's not every day. So if you see James ever, he looks like a regular person. He's fully functional, fully able to walk, fully able to speak, fully able to move everything normally. But, he's got this illness inside of him that is going to eventually take him one day, but who knows when, because currently, around this time actually, it's 13 years. So he was diagnosed 13 years ago in 2013, and he's still going. So some days are slower than others, but hooray. Take the small wins, or big wins, as it might be for some things, but I think that's it for now. I hope that everybody has a great stitchy week. I will talk to everybody later. Let me know down in the comments what you are working on, just so that I could be inspired somehow. I did end up getting the Facebook exclusive chart, the underwater something or other by Ciro Marchetti. I'm not planning on starting it anytime soon, but anyway, that was my latest. Ta-da! I think that's it. So, Simon and I say sparkle and shine. Have a great day, and I will see everybody later. Bye, everybody.